Hello Bulldogs, this is the first tutorial for Adobe Premiere Pro, the video editing software we use in audio-video technology. When you first open up Adobe Premiere, you'll see several different window panes. You'll notice that they do look similar to Adobe Photoshop, obviously because they're the same title, Adobe. But just to show you the areas, we have the project area. This is where new clips will come in if you import pictures or music or video. We have the effects panel. This is where you have video effects, video transitions, audio effects. We have the timeline, which is down here at the bottom. The timeline is where you have your video tracks and your audio tracks. Notice that there are several of each. It'll hold up to probably more than you'd ever need. Up here we have the source panel. This is if you wanted to preview one of your little clips over here. It shows up in the source panel. Notice that there's also the effects controls. We don't have any effects added, but if you wanted to control your effects, it's just a tab. They're just tabs. We have the preview pane, the program pane. Okay, it's just a pane where you can see whatever's on the timeline. Okay, it's kind of like the preview screen. Okay, the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to make ourselves a title slide. To make a title slide, you go up to Title, you choose New Title, and we're going to make what's called a default still, which just means it's going to not move. Okay, we're going to just call this still and click OK. And we're going to make a still title. So I'm going to come down here, and as you can see, similar to in Photoshop, it has different styles you can pick. I'm going to pick this one right here. And I'm just going to type in the word still title so we know that's what we're making. If you want to increase the font, you just come up here to the text, kind of like in Photoshop, and you drag it to make it bigger. It also has some cool little centering buttons over here on the toolbar. Here's our toolbar. It will center this tool. Center this however you want. And then if you look over to the right, it just has all kinds of adjustments you can make to that text. It has a fill color that you can change. If you want to change the fill, right now I have a 4-color gradient on there. Let's make that a little simpler and just make it a solid. So if we wanted to change the fill, we would just click on the little button, move the slider wherever we wanted to, change it to whatever color we wanted, and then just click OK. Or we could click the dropper tool and match a color, but like for example black. But let's just go ahead and pick a color. Okay, you can even change the background and stuff like that, but we'll do that kind of at a later time. All right, so we're going to center this. When we're done, we just X out of it. And you'll notice now that we have something over here in our clip pane. It's called a still title. Now we just pull our title down here to the timeline. Once it's down on the timeline, if you move your, I call this the magic wand, right over your clip, you can see now that we have something in the preview pane. You can stretch this out to make it longer or shorter. Right now it lasts about 5 seconds, but you can see here this is 16 seconds. If we wanted to make it longer, you just come down here and drag it out. That's all there is to it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is a different kind of title. It is called a default roll. Now a rolling title, I'm just going to type in roll. Moves up to down or down to up. Okay. Now you'll notice that it says still title there over it. That is because my magic wand is on top of my clip. So make sure you move your magic wand off of your clip. Okay, or else you're going to see it in the pane. I'm just going to say this is a roll title. Okay, then we just kind of, let's pick our same font or a different font from last time. Move it up here to this, we can kind of center it. Maybe make the text a little bigger. Okay, and then for this one, when you have this open, you're going to come up here to title, and for roll and crawl options, you're going to choose start off screen and end off screen. What this is going to do is it's going to make it start off screen and end off screen. So now if you look over here, we have our title, and if you roll over it, you can even see what it's going to do. I'm just going to move it down here to the timeline, and look what we have. You hit the space bar for play, and we have a roll title. Okay, and finally, I'm going to, if you want that to last longer, you just stretch it out. Now it's going to go real slow. If you wanted to go faster, you just make it smaller. All right, and then finally, I'm going to do it one more time. Title, new title. This one's going to be called a crawl title. A crawl title, we're going to call it crawl. Moves left to right or right to left. Notice we still have our title there. That means we got to move our magic wand off of it. For this one, I'm just going to click text. I'm going to say, this is a crawl title. Okay, pick a new font. Maybe make it a little bigger. Move it to where you want it to begin, which is about right there. And same thing, we're going to go title, roll crawl options. Let's choose start off screen and end off screen. Now we just X out of this, move it down to the timeline, and look what we have here. Okay, so that was a still title, a roll title, and a crawl title. You're going to try to do all three of those. If you get all three of those done, see if you can get your pictures down to the timeline. You do that by clicking on File, Import, go to your folder, and simply highlight all your pictures that we were working on yesterday. If you have them done, open them. Once they all get into the area up here, you just drag them down to the timeline. Okay, then you can move your titles around. Okay, make your crawl title, maybe make your rolling title at the end, since that's kind of like credits. Crawl title can be at the beginning, and so forth, to where we end up having our pictures down there. All right, so this is the first tutorial. Again, your goal is to make all three titles and see if you can get them working on the timeline. That is all.